Well, what a wonderful thick and fog day to you, survivor who just quit for unknown reasons. My name is Bricky. Welcome to Dead by Daylight Casefile, featuring the Cannibal, or better known as the CHILI BOI. As with our friend the Stocky Boy, Leatherface is the second licensed killer of Dead by Daylight, and his lore can be told through the grisly classic horror film, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. An incredibly fun and timeless classic that, while it is as cheesy as they come, can be certainly enjoyed with a few friends, a couple beers, and a nice bowl of chili. So the Cannibal's special ability is Bubba's Chainsaw. You charge up the chainsaw, decreasing your movement speed slightly. Once released, you'll go into a frenzy of swing, sweeping forward in a frontal arc multiple times. You can hit multiple targets at once with these swings and put survivors immediately into the dying state if hit. The chainsaw swings cannot be cancelled and will only be stopped if stunned or if you run into an object. If you run into an object during the swing, you will then throw a tantrum, slowing your movement speed to basically standing still and swinging randomly in all directions around you. That is the general gist of Bubba's Chainsaw. Now, how do you play the Cannibal? Well, he's a rather simplistic character to play, very straightforward. Now, he shares a lot of similarities to the Hillbilly, but the way you play him is a bit different. See, Leatherface is still subject to most of the standard issues all killers have, pallets and windows. The Hillbilly can hit one survivor at a time, and his chainsaw is mainly used for massive amounts of map pressure, tons of speed and such. Leatherface is really good at stopping big survivor bum rushes, or basically just one-shotting people in a standard way. When you play Leatherface, you'll be doing regular killer stuff, chasing survivors through windows, through pallets, doing the usual. However, when you get to that survivor, you have two choices. Rev your chainsaw and get ready for the insta-down, or hit them with your regular mallet. Now, which you choose is all dependent on the situation. If there's a pallet or a window really close by, it's better to just mallet them since they're about to escape. However, if there aren't any pallets or windows for a bit and you have the time to charge the chainsaw, then you should just use that instead and go for the insta-down. Basically, playing Leatherface all comes down to how long do I have until the survivor finds a safe spot. If it's a short time, mallet. If they got a while, chainsaw. Now, there are a few specific jukes that survivors can do. They're mainly going to try to have you get stunned on objects as you chase them. This can include running around a tree, jumping into a locker, around sharp corners. Make sure you're very careful when you chase them through these things, because if you bump into anything, you'll throw your tantrum and you'll completely lose them. You'll be sitting there yelling for a very long time and they will be a mile away by the time you're done. Also, if you're going to get pallet looped, almost always do mallet. High-ranking survivors, when they see you rev that chainsaw, will just keep running and not drop the pallet, because they know dropping the pallet will let you just destroy it immediately and not take as much time. And also, since you move slower, they can probably get one more loop in. Oh, and of course, basements. Yes, basement camping is one of Leatherface's specialties, due to his ability to get multiple hits. It's not as effective against coordinated teams on voice comms, but against randoms, it's insanely good. We'll talk about basements a little bit later. Okay, so let's discuss CHILI BOI's add-ons. Generally, the best ones decrease charge time and increase movement speed and acceleration. So charge time decreasers like Spark Plug, Primer Bulb, and the Carburetor Tuning Guide, movement speed like Knife Scratches and Beast Marks, and acceleration like CHILI and, well, award-winning CHILI. The long guide bar is also pretty decent for increasing chainsaw distance. If you didn't know, acceleration on the chainsaw is a very specific stat that goes with Leatherface. When you start revving up the chainsaw and when you finally let go to start the swings, you will increase in movement speed as you swing. So during that period of time, you will go faster and faster and faster. And if I recall correctly, award-winning CHILI, the purple add-on, will get you to up to 146% movement speed at the end of your long charge. Generally, if you want to choose the best combination, I always say the Carburetor Tuning Guide combined with the regular CHILI or the award-winning CHILI, but it all depends on, of course, your personal preference. The acceleration really is insane at how fast you can move when swinging. For Leatherface's perks, we have I Can't See Without My Flashlight, UAV Recon Online, and Brain Hemorrhage. Now, Franklin's Demise isn't one of the best perks, but it's one of my favorite perks. Situational as hell, since it's only good if someone's carrying an item, but it's amazing against pesky flashlights. Most importantly, it forces survivors to come back and pick up their items, making them waste their time. Nothing is more fun than having a survivor on your back and another survivor run up to you and try to flashlight you, and you just thwack them in the head and they drop that flashlight. It feels so good. Barbecue and Chili is probably the best killer perk in the game, along with Hex Ruin. Being able to immediately know, am I about to get bum rushed by survivors? survivors or am I free to leave the hook is amazing. It's one of those perks that's kind of good for killers and survivors depending on the way they play. You see, it helps promote an anti-camping playstyle to a point. If you hook someone and you see the aura of 3 survivors across the map, then go down and take them out. You have no reason to stay. But if you see nobody, then, well, guess I'm gonna camp to deal with the incoming rush. If survivors are being greedy and all crouching around the area waiting to get that save, well, you're not gonna leave, and that's kind of their own fault. If they're out doing generators, as they should, then there's no reason for you to stick around. Also, it gives you a shitload of blood points, and that's one of the best reasons to take this perk. Knockout it's okay. Good for specific killers or specific builds. If you want to run a slug build, it's not that great. It can be good on people like Freddy sometimes, one of the only perks that synergize well with Freddy, but it really isn't that amazing. For building Leatherface, I generally run anything that helps me get to survivors faster. Brutal Strength and Enduring are excellent to make pallets less effective and also deal with any pallets you get hit by or any decisive strikes you have to deal with. Hex, Ruin, and Barbecue and Chili are of course amazing perks, as they always are, and I personally find a lot of success with Monitor and Abuse, believe it or not. Now, giving survivors less time to react from your heartbeat will make it take longer for them to reach any kind of safe points like a pallet or window, which could give you more chainsaw hits than you think. Now, I should mention, of course, Insidious. Now, Insidious Leatherface has seen a major rise thanks to his ability to basement camp. Hooking someone in the basement and then removing your terror radius gives people a false sense of security. They'll run on down there and then boom, you'll just shred through both of them, and now you've got 2 survivors in the basement. However, it's only somewhat effective. Now, I hate Insidious as a perk because I think it's boring. It's not fun to use. But more importantly, if the survivors are on voice comms, it'll never work. Because the survivor down there is just going to be like, hey, he's down here. He's not moving. Don't come down. Now, it works wonders on randoms, but it's just not very fun to do, and it's too situational for me to actually recommend the perk. Sure, maybe for the memes, but let's be honest, you're probably better off using a different perk instead. For the Leatherface meme build, I'll be taking Modern Abuse, Insidious, Dying Light, and Agitation. Find your obsession, carry them all the way to the basement, go Insidious, fuck up some people, get that Dying Light proc. Easy peasy. And finally, before I go, here's the Cannibal's Mori, straight down the middle. So let's wrap up Leatherface. I'm not a huge fan of him, to be perfectly honest. I find his gameplay, while kind of carefree fun, very one-dimensional and uninteresting. Walk up, chainsaw them, or smack them. Rinse and repeat. He has some solid strengths and is probably a good mid-tier killer, but he's not entirely my cup of tea. However, he is a very good starting killer, and if you're just getting into the game, I would recommend picking him up. Not to mention, he has, without a doubt, some of the best teachable perks the entire game has to offer. And that right there, everyone, is the Dead by Daylight Casefile on the Cannibal, Bubba Jr., or the CHILI BOI. As per the usual, this game is played how you want to play it. If you want to Insidious basement camp, no survivor and no made-up rule set should tell you not to. Do whatever you have to win, and most importantly, have fun. My name has been Bricky, and remember, the best part of the chili is the meat. Bye-bye.